Smart researchers patronize the scientician's surplus. Quality goods at algorithmically determined prices.
As determined, you're listening to Grand Plan Wireless, where transpiring events, philosophical profundities, inform insight into the future, also music. Welcome to another installment of Ask a Vicar with Vicar Magsai. A recent inquiry: why do I hear order product advertisements from the same voices denouncing anti-choice and rampant commercialism?
Good question. I'd say the place we differ most from our consumers.
Welcome to the Scientician Surplus. I am the scientician in question. Any inquiries about the stock may be directed to me. It's there in the name, surplus. Please peruse with discernment.
Tell others ascend to greater heights. You could hardly be more dissimilar.
Do you have an inquiry about our order to ask?
Every day treating the same strains and abrasions. My tenure for a multifactorial disorder. The operating theater is not conducting viewing dissections at this time. That is not an invitation to return to your study and perform exploratory surgery on yourself or a willing volunteer, just to be clear. Not as concerning as some of the scenes I have been called to in the middle of the night. I assure you, the warning is justified. But I trust you are here for a reason other than to discuss scalpel-happy novices. That is best answered through observation. Here, have a look.
Well, aren't you the eccentric sort?
What is with the anomalous behavior?
Have an intellectually stimulating day.
standardized approach, outwardly heralding the race as a portent of their vaunted paradigm, while no doubt inwardly seeking their own needs, pitying their parents.
I didn't rigorously test off.
Only security personnel are permitted in this booth. Leave. Please. Lift access is currently restricted. Keep moving.
Whatever your honorarium, it is well deserved.
Agent, over here. Well, this is a welcome confluence of events. Why, without you, Gertie and I wouldn't be alive. And any hope of peace between the Order and Auntie's choice would be over. Dreadful, you know. Positively dreadful. How the peace talks were interrupted. I felt our two delegations were making real progress. While making our escape, we encountered one of the renegades of my Order, wounded and dying. He sought to unburden himself, now convinced Wiley's calculations were wrong. He told us all about that terrible DeVries woman's plan, and theorized you must have stopped her. Well, I think that's what he said. There was quite a lot of gurgling. You have mine and Gertie's utmost gratitude for intervening. Had she succeeded in assassinating us, it would have terminated any hope for peace. Officially, not at present. Gertie and I have kept up communication through back channels in the hope that the discussions can be reconvened in due time. It is my earnest belief that this is the optimal course to chart for the Order, and for Arcadia. Though we could certainly use assistance from an outside force like yourself. Life-threatening situations have a way of verifying and validating key constants. Perhaps proof our two groups may still yet work together, if certain conditions were met. To begin, I believe you would need to put forth efforts in good faith with each of the two groups. Earning the trust of both sides is essential. Once you've worked your way up to meeting our respective leaders, you must convince them to consider joining forces. Oh, really? Perhaps the challenge rating is far less than I've hitherto calculated. Well, obviously you'll likely have to act as an intermediary between Ruth and Auntie, which will require some verbal finesse. But let's worry about that step upon reaching it. Transplendent. Remember, seek out ways to help both sides. Engender trust. Gertie and I can let you know when it's time to move forward. In the meantime, I might recommend you work on honing your oratory skills. Our presiding bishop and Auntie Cleo can be challenging to debate with. I believe our group's combined efforts are in direct accordance with the plan.
Their foothold is insubstantial. Their momentum stalled.
Prudence dictates we cherish all we have and defend it.
Well, I'll be hanged. At the pitter of footsteps at my door, I expected another order ankle nipper, bent on furthering my disquietude. Philo Tresmer, Protectorate wordsman at arms. Mercenary, eh? Your demeanor speaks for itself. In a different life, we might have been enemies. But as far as I'm concerned, anyone here not a traitorous, thrice-damned scientist is a compatriot of mine. Not sure what's... Are you truly so blinded by intricate lattices and scientific hokum that you fail to notice the obvious? The individuals here are cut from the same cloth as the Protectorate, but dare to suggest they have a grander understanding of Arcadia's needs. Yet even as the war is dragged on, they fail to concede. Lost sheep can only wander for so long before someone decides to slaughter them. Hate is an inaccurate phrase. I find them arrogant and exasperating. Without the Protectorate, this little organization would have no holdings to squat in. I am here because the Sovereign has tasked me with bringing these wayward, pretentious toddlers back into the Protectorate fold. Unfortunately, my time here has taught me that only mass death has the power to change the local hearts and minds. Perhaps enough will be alive to save afterwards. I am not just anyone. The duty of a liaison is of the utmost importance, requiring due diligence and delicacy. Though I suppose it a mite strange that this task fell to me, as I'd urge the vehement tanning of any wayward body bent on disrespecting the Protectorate. As of yet, that does not include the other Protectorate personnel I've encountered on Cloister, even though they seem loyal to the Consul above all else. The Consul is intended to supplement the Sovereign's rule, acting as a spy master and war coordinator. But of late, he has been overactive. The Consul is doing his duty, but I'm concerned that the people may begin to look to him for guidance instead of the Sovereign. I've heard rumors of late that a foolish minority has become skeptical of the Sovereign's leadership. Madness, I say. We must have faith. Listen, you. The Protectorate does not do delegation. The Protectorate has a will that must be upheld. My presence here is a display of more faith than these fools deserve. Niceties are irrelevant and likely detrimental to the task at hand. I am here to make the Order see the error of their ways. All other particulates are frivolous.
The Chamber of Conflict Evaluation and Strategic Planning is currently off limits to non-essential Order personnel.
No admittance without the Artificer Laureate's permission. That's one way to become the center of attention.
I don't know who you are. But if you thought it wise to bring a cultist into the heart of Order territory, you are deeply foolish. I have not the slightest theory as to how you bypassed our guards. But if it was through violence, be assured, it will be returned exponentially.
Exactly. Though, to be honest, I was thinking of filleting you, but it didn't seem worth getting Artificer all over me.
I shall be the judge of her trustworthiness myself. There is a cultist-centric issue the Order needs resolved. I suspect you are capable of doing such. If you are not, I cannot trust you, and certainly cannot allow you to see Ruth.
If these cultists are suffering the same affliction of being traitorous curs as the others seem to be, then I look forward to killing them. I don't know about all that. As much as I'd welcome the bloodshed, it may be wise for me to avoid members of the Dawn until I get their treachery sorted.
My task is this. A myriad of cultists have taken over the settlement of Newton, which is a nearby site of historical but not strategic significance. I want them gone. Once there was a bridge stretching from the settlement to the archive, but it was destroyed by a rift. Best keep your distance should you travel there. First, the Order's artillery has long since been rendered inoperable by Protectorate attacks. Second, Newton is a heritage site, so I don't want it reduced to cinders. And third, and most importantly, that would tell me nothing of your trustworthiness. Journey to Newton. Eliminate the cultists to a person. Then we may speak of getting you an audience with Ruth. Newton contains the Six Pillars Chantry, which was one of the first temples founded after Arcadia's colonization. It's over 100 years old. The cultists are likely profaning it. But even if they aren't, I don't want them there. Our loss of Newton is symbolic. If we cannot protect it, how can we protect Arcadia? You're results-oriented. I can understand that. Fine. Expect a tangible reward on top of the Order's goodwill. May you prove my plethora of doubts unfounded. And may you keep your cultist colleague in line on your way out.
You're lucky the commander needs something from you, or you'd be looking at your intestines on the ground right about now. Still too many corporate bootlickers drawing air around here for my taste.
I always find I work best when undistracted. One could say I find the cultists at Newton quite the interruption to my focus. Now, how might we be of use to one another? I scarcely take time to engage in idle conversation, but perhaps this will be illuminating in some fashion. I have nothing but respect for Ruth. Without her guidance, the Order may never have found the strength to dissolve its protectorate bonds. If I had to dig for the smallest critique, I'd note that she shoulders too much. If she collapses beneath the strain, the Order will be rudderless. This we cannot afford. Specifically, a phlogistinated firearm, capable of tunneling through reinforced armor. Broadly, weaponry, research, anything capable of giving our exemplars an edge. In the same way that Cloister is a snowball, yes. Who told you about that? Were there an experiment being conducted here involving any kind of medicament? Confirming its existence would compromise it. The theoretical existence or non-existence of Order experiments are strictly within the Order's purview. It doesn't concern you. It's not nefarious. It's a waste of time. But fine, you've made your point. We are standing in the experiment. Laplace's garden was built as a scholar's utopia, with this drug perspective as its regulating reagent. This was supposedly to aid us in deciphering the equation. One would think that an organization at active war would have more pressing responsibilities than a scholar's paradise. But surely, I'm only a pessimist. I generally prefer to keep discussions relevant. Let's pinpoint what you and I can accomplish.
Be the statistical exception to the natural state of entropy in the universe.
Welcome back, Agent. I trust Laplace's garden is treating you well? In what manner can I assist you?
Enjoy your time in the garden.
Initializing. How may this unit assist you, Command?